What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel, J. Randall Uncensored. Today, I want to touch on the topic, is the red pill radicalizing men? Now, before I get into my opinions on it, I first want to touch on the definition. I want to actually know what we're talking about here. So first, radical. What's the definition for that? Radical refers to the ideas, actions, or approaches that are far beyond traditional or mainstream. A radical view often advocates for significant or fundamental change to the status quo, sometimes through extreme or unconventional methods. So that's radical. Now let's look at radicalization. Radicalization is the process by which an individual or group adopts extreme political, social, or religious ideologies, often leading to the rejection of the existing system or norms and the embrace of revolutionary or violent tactics. Now, of course, I don't at all agree that the red pill is making men violent, not at all. However, based on the definition that I just read, yeah, I do believe that men are being radicalized, but I believe it's in a positive way. I am happy that men are pushing back against the status quo. They are not accepting society and life as it is, especially as it is for men, because what's the status quo for men? The status quo for men when it comes to relationships, it's happy wife, happy life. Men, happy wife, happy life themselves into oblivion. That is the status quo. The status quo is sacrifice for women, sacrifice for the family. It's the woman's wants, needs, and desires are always prioritized. Yours are put on the back burner. Yours, if it's ever even brought up at all, it's put in your 10, 15 years of marriage and accept the fact that your wife is going to want to cash out at some point and, hit you with some divorce papers and tell you she wants to go find herself. That is men's life. And we're told that we're supposed to just play our part, be good little providers, don't expect anything in return. And that's your life as a man, right? You are here to be extracted from. Life is supposed to be tough for you. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be suffering. And that's just your life as a man. And you need to accept your part and play your part well and shut up. Stop asking for things. We don't want to hear you complain. If she wants half your shit on the way out the door, that's fine. Give it to her. Go live in a box if that's what you got to do. But that's your life. You're a man. Suffer. That's the status quo for men. We're expendable. At least that's how society sees us. We are the disposable gender. And the red pill pushes back against that. The red pill tells men, no, you're valuable. No, this is bullshit. This idea that your life is just supposed to be providing, and you get nothing in return. No. The red pill is teaching men to have self-respect, to value themselves, to prioritize their needs and wants. And I'm not talking prioritizing their needs and wants from the selfish standpoint that a lot of women do, where it's all about them, me. Men are prioritizing themselves from a position of self-preservation because we're always the ones getting used in the situation. And society does not care about our mental health. Society does not care about our financial well-being. Society does not care if we die in a ditch somewhere. That's fine. Now, they would never allow that to happen to women. They have all the agencies and all the facilities and all the money in the world to help women out whenever they need it. But men were put on the back burner. Nobody cares. We're a dime a dozen. We'll get a new guy to replace him. Who cares? And men aren't tolerating that anymore. We're not tolerating, this feminist society that tells us that we're less than. We're not tolerating this society that tells us that our role is just to be providers and ask for nothing in return. The disrespect, the level of misandry that has gone on in society has pushed men to the point where we're pushing back. We're not accepting things as they are. The status quo for men is garbage. Men are not allowing women to disrespect them anymore. We're not allowing women to emasculate us. We're not allowing ourselves to be used financially. We're not taking on, situations that don't benefit us anymore. We have to take ourselves into account, and they call that radicalization. You know why? Because when men start thinking for themselves, society gets scared. You can't be a good little pawn for them when you're thinking for yourself, because then you realize that the systems that they put in place to keep you trapped are bullshit. Now, for the longest time, men went along with the status quo because, once upon a time, relationships and society respected men. It benefited men. Men sacrificed and it was appreciated. Men did things for women and women appreciated it. And the dynamic between men and women was better. Women actually had something to offer. They weren't these ran through 304s with lack of respect for men. They actually appreciated men. They valued them. They were traditional. That's no longer the case. So men are getting a raw deal, and men are starting to realize that and say, hey, why am I still playing into this system that clearly doesn't care what I get out of it, clearly doesn't care if I'm okay mentally, okay financially? So why am I playing this game? And everybody's getting nervous now. Whoa, men aren't approaching anymore. They don't want to get into relationships anymore. They're questioning society. Oh my gosh, men are moving towards they're becoming more conservative. What's that about? When society's status quo is the feminist ideology, and now we have a group of men that are rejecting that. They're thinking for themselves. They're moving towards traditionalism. They're being radicalized. Oh my gosh. No, they're waking up to the truth. They're waking up to the truth, and they're moving towards a society that doesn't just benefit women, but also benefits themselves. And if society doesn't want to structure itself that way, then they're just going to pull back and live their life according to the way they want to live it. We don't have to play into the marriage system. Men are done. I hear a bunch of women on the internet complaining that men aren't approaching anymore. Men aren't pursuing anymore. I always laugh at at this one TikTok that came out where a woman was complaining that men aren't obsessed with women anymore. What's there to be obsessed about? Like, there's nothing. And they call that radicalization. Men aren't pursuing women like they used to. They're not spending a bunch of money on dates. Oh my gosh, they have boundaries. They have standards now. We can't just approach them with a high body count, a loud mouth, and a combative attitude, and they just accept it. Now they rather just be alone. This is new. They're being radicalized. If you want to call it radicalization, that's fine. I'm cool with that word. But I'd call it respecting oneself. Seeing that society has not offered men any value for a very long time. They've disrespected men. They've made light of their sacrifices. They've made light of their role as a man. The emasculation and the misandry has gotten out of hand. I call it men waking up, unplugging themselves from the system and saying, if you don't want to value me, I'm not playing in. I'm not offering up my value for free. If you want to engage with me in a relationship, make sure you're coming with the value that I want. If you want me to engage in society, then make sure you're giving me the value that I want. If not, I'm going to go my own path. And I am happy that a majority of men are waking up to this, and it's spreading like wildfire, and women are getting nervous because now they can't just come to you with any kind of garbage. They can't just approach you and on some bullshit. They have to come correct, and they have not had to do that in a very long time. So they say, oh, we're being radicalized by the red pill. If having boundaries, standards, and expectations is radicalization, I've been radicalized all day long, bro. I'm radical, if that's what you want to call it. And I'm glad men are waking up. So that's my take on it. Men, don't go back to the way things used to be. I don't care what word. If they want to pivot from radical to extremism to this to that, I don't care what the fuck they call it. Respect yourselves. Spread the word. Wake other men up, because it's time for men to stop being pawns in a system that doesn't care about them, and it's time for men to start advocating for a society that benefits them and not just women. So that's my take on that, guys. If you got value from the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Also, I have a second channel. It's Jay Randall. You can look that up on YouTube. And until next time, guys, take it easy.